Welcome to the Art Center at NYU Abu Dhabi and Rooftop Rhythm's season finale Grand Slam. I'm Bill Bragan, Executive Artistic Director of the Art Center. I want to start by congratulating a very special group of people, the NYU Abu Dhabi Class of 2021. It's always an achievement to graduate from university, but the Class of 21, both here at NYU AD and across the world, have succeeded despite many additional challenges. Tonight, we have three newly graduated NYU Abu Dhabi alumni performing, Aathma Dious, Maitha Suwaidi, and Nabiha Nahyan, all of whom have been important central contributors to Rooftop Rhythms. We hope to see you as part of our events for many years to come. One of the special new approaches that has been enabled by the Art Center's move online is that we can cross-fertilize our UAE scene with other spoken word scenes from around the world. As someone who has feet in both Brooklyn and Abu Dhabi, I'm especially excited that tonight features Rooftop Rhythms in collaboration with Brooklyn Slam. So big thanks to Mahogany L Browne and Jive Poetic for bringing their community of artists together with ours. Thank you also to the U.S. Mission to the UAE, which has been loyally supporting Rooftop Rhythms as a platform for creative self-expression for several years. I also want to thank the Art Center's sustaining sponsor, GAC, as well as our media partners, The National, Al Ittihad, Abu Dhabi World, Yalla Magazines, and Time Out Abu Dhabi. And finally, I want to thank the incredible staff of the Art Center, who've worked so hard to reinvent how we do what we do. We're getting near the end of the season, so I want to ask everyone who's watching to throw some love emojis into the chat right now. We do have a few more events that I want to make sure you know about. This Monday and Tuesday, May 31st and June 1st, marks the centennial anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Earlier this week marked the one-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. Making the connection between both of these tragic events, composer Daniel Bernard Romain composed an aria, They Still Want to Kill Us, sung by Janae Bridges. Among many issues, the piece attempts to correct historical erasures, a theme that will resonate with many of our audiences. We're proud that the Art Center joined with Sozo artists and a large coalition of arts presenters to bring this piece to the public. You can now find the short film by Yoram Savion, as well as a conversation with the artists on the Art Center's YouTube channel, along with archival videos of previous editions of Rooftop Rhythms, other live streams, career chats, and more. And don't forget to stay in touch with us at NYU AD Art Center and social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. To find out about upcoming events at the Art Center, please visit us on the web at nyuad-artcenter.org, where you can also subscribe to our weekly newsletter. We'll soon share information about the next performance by Abu Dhabi Choral Group, Seen It, Sing It, on Monday, June 21st, and the premiere of Hiba Rashid, aka Soul Trotter's new film, It Ain't Where You From, on June 22nd as part of London's Shabak Festival. This film, about the underground breakdancing scene in the UAE and in the region, was co-commissioned by Shabak and the Art Center, and is part of a larger transmedia live project, the Main Circle 7.83, which you'll be hearing about soon for next season. And now, let's kick off Rooftop Rhythm's 9th season Grand Slam finale, and welcome to the screen, founder and your host, Dorian Paul Rogers.
Let's go. What's up, everybody? I am Dorian Paul Rogers, the founder of Rooftop Rhythms. And no matter where you are, if you are watching on your TV, if you know technology and know how to project it on your screen, or if you're just on your phone, or if you just found out about this because somebody shared it with you, I need you to make some noise on the count of three if you feel blessed to be alive on May 28th, 2021. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I think I hear you. All right. It's a blessing to be here for Rooftop Rhythms number 82. I was born in 1982. We're all my 80s babies. All right. And we're just blessed to be here. So this is our Grand Slam finale, the last show of the season. And we're also blessed to do this as a collaboration with the Brooklyn Poetry Slam. I'm not going to talk too much because we have a fire open mic lined up. We also have a dope poetry slam as poets have qualified to be here tonight. So let's go ahead and get into it. I am proud to introduce Mahogany L Browne, who's about to come up. She co-founded Brooklyn Poetry Slam with my homie Jive Poetic. You may have just heard his fire DJ mix. I was dancing, even though I can't dance that well, but I hope you were too if you were here for the pre-show. They have the longest tenured show in New York, which has been running for 6 years. and both of them are just amazing academics, poets, and trendsetters, tastemakers in the culture and art scene in New York, but also with reverberations all over the world. So we're just honored to have them tonight. So hosting the open mic segment is my friend, Mahogany L. Browne. Come on to the digital stage. What's up, Mo?
Yo, pew, pew, pew. I was making noise. I was hoping that I wasn't louder than you. But thank you for inviting us here, for sharing space. This is really what poetry is about, when we exchange not just the poems, but the light and the culture and the hope. And so I'm excited to be here. Brooklyn Poetry Slam is the longest running poetry venue in Brooklyn. So we're very lucky to be standing amongst the giants that Bar 13, Nuyorican, and Bowery has created. I'm going to introduce a couple of folks and get this open mic started, because there's no way to start a slam without wetting your palate with some poems, yeah? The first one up, Aathma Dious. Are you ready to share a poem, Aathma? We would love to hear from you. Open up this mic correctly. Get us ready. It's 12 p.m. here in Brooklyn, but this is going to be my first poem of the day, and I'm excited.
It's 8 here, 8-7 actually. So I'm glad to be the first poem. And so my poem is called Tattoo, and it's a little bit of a sad poem, I guess, but I hope you all enjoy it. Tattoo. Every time I dream of us, you hibiscus my mother tongue named Chamrati bloom in my chest, my bones. We drink this nectar in a kiss. Chamrati madness on my tongue, Chamrati red petal stains from your lips, blooming across my shoulders, outlines becoming one with my skin, no matter how I hide them. Acha sees, sighs, Kanna never trust permanent, their ruse, their make-believe, you were born always temporary. Amma screams, what are these? Get rid of this madness, Kanna, we cannot afford these, the loans are cutting Acha again. Inconsiderate child. The scars on Acha's shoulders, Apapa had them too. My fingers remember them, from when I could still be carried by them. Paper cuts, from money, over, the price of being a pravasi, time flowing out of your body through the cuts, the scars run deep, they sunburn into you. The desert sun is never gold. City slashed into our souls, cut my roots from here over, I wake up. Your red lip smile had teeth. Across my shoulders, you left little paper cuts, just like Acha. Maybe Amma is right. This Chamrati, us, is madness. Maybe Acha is wrong about temporary. These paper cut scars from that cash slipping through us are an inheritance I cannot escape. Thank you. My name is Aathma Dious, and this is Tattoo.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful piece. Poetry is not just a landscape of memory, but it's a space of reclamation. And you sharing that piece is a perfect example of that. Thank you so much. On deck is Rico. But right now, welcome to the stage, Shilpa Ananth.
Hi everyone, my name is Shilpa Ananth, and I'm going to be singing a quick song for you all today. This one is one of my originals. It's called Align, and the song is half in English, half Malayalam. And the Malayalam bits, I'm saying, who am I, when will my time come? And this song is all about conflict with identity. I'm sure we all know all about that. So here I go. Do I wait for the planets to align? Do I really know the one within my mind? Listening to the clock tick to the beat of my heart, wishing I could make my life reflect my art. I crave to find my way. What if every sign so far were all little lies? Have I been delusional, living in denial? I pray to not be afraid. Do I wait for the planets to align? Do I wait for some sign? Do I make peace to never find? Do I really know the one within my mind? Nyanara എനിക്കേറഞ്ഞുടാ ഞാൻ നോക്കി അവളെ കണ്ടില്ല വലിയറിയാതെ വഴി കാണൂല എന്തു പറഞ്ഞാലും ഞാൻ വീഴൂല Who knew I'd be the one to seek what's divine? Out of space, all my realities collide. In retrograde, it seems for life. Am I too late? Do I astroplane? Will I ever align? Nyanara, nyanara. In samayam pura. Nyanara, nyanara. In samayam pura. Nyanara, nyanara. In samayam pura. Thank you.
My word, what just happened? I feel that was meditative. Thank you. And then I had to go and buy the album. So if you have any of your streaming devices, I just got Where Is Home. Shout out to you for showing us how to get home, finding ourselves. Word. On deck is Amatan, but right now we're going to listen to a poem all the way from Flatbush, Brooklyn, by way of Trinidad. Give it up for Rico Frederick.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so blessed to be here today and honored. So after that amazing feat of musicality, I'm actually going to talk about my mom, who in her own right gave me life and put me on this planet. To listen to something like that today is a blessing in itself. So this actually follows my favorite singer, Lena Horne. So it goes, a song to its author. On May 12th, 2010, I sit next to the only reason I believe in God. She knows that one day a reaper will slide a rosary bead through her bones. She is refusing to wear a coffin. The colostomy bag collects the stones God threw at her kidney. Her stomach is a washing machine filled with butcher knives. She is 2 styrofoam cups, ice water, miniature can of ginger ale, Brett stabilizer, and applesauce. 3 days and 20 pounds later, my mother asked the doctor to bottle her collection of rock bloody kidney stones. He said, no. God said, no. I am fingernails chewed down to the nub, tears at the lip of my eyelids. Scared love will turn its back when I need it most. 3 days after the death of Lena Horne, my mother breathing is the only stormy weather I want to hear. Thank you very, very much.
What a beautiful homage. Shout out to Auntie Pam. Well done, Rico. All these poets and singers, I hope y'all feel as blessed as you are right now. All right? Because not only are the poems fire, the songs fire, but like the lineage of language that is happening to keep us closer to our humanity, that is the gift, right? And you don't even know what's happening until you walk away from this screen, this little small Zoom box, whatever you're watching, and you go back into the world, and these words will reverberate through your world. Shout out to Dorian for saying reverberate. Now it's all up in my cranium. I'm gonna just keep saying thanks, friend. Our last poet before we get to this slam. If you're ready, wherever you are, go ahead, start clapping your hands, stomping your feet, making your neighbors upset about the beat. Amatan Noor, come on to this virtual stage.
Thank you, Mahogany. Thank you to all the poets that have gone thus far. You've all been so incredible. And thank you for holding this space. This is incredible. Apparently, the Black friend is never more present in the life of someone accused of anti-Blackness. Whether it's a living, breathing human friend, an acquaintance, mailman momentarily titled friend without consent, there is no better anti-racist alibi than the shadow of a Black friend. The longer end. In 2018, at the halfway point between 226 St. James and the biggest tribute to Biggie on Quincy and Bedford, a white woman I shared roof with looked me dead in my dark pupils and dared say she is disappointed in Kendrick Lamar for calling out another white woman for saying that word on stage. Disappointed because his Pulitzer be damned before her daddy's net worth, the way Christopher Wallace way be a false front, a window display into displacement, my voice falls low in my first generation, my rent is too damn high and my income too digital wealth that covers the greater how land of the free makes me run up a tab from closeted racists, how they buy my silence when I want to go off real quick, how I stay silent at this tone policing turned silencing tactic, and what happens to privilege gone unchecked like this. She doesn't release the tear gas canister per se, but does light the match and partakes in prolonged gaslighting. She white saviors, waters down exposed faces, conditioning all mouths shut should the mouths be attached to faces that face watered down discrimination. There are white bodies in the protest now. So she opportunists her way into the narrative, plays protagonist when the apathetic in her scoffed months back at Black death said Black Lives Matter is Black people's problem. And at the end of her pilgrimage to Bed-Stuy, I mean, when the lease was up, she said she'll move to Williamsburg to be surrounded in whiteness. These brownstones were a trend she had outgrown for a trendy loft apartment. And these brownstones she'll return to thanks to returned investments of diversified portfolios that create a whiter, hipster Brooklyn. Here, the poverty line is barricaded by white picket fences or subprime loans or rent hikes of Brooklyn brownstones. Here, more white women teach yoga to one another than teach at-risk youth and arrive at Shavasana, then after-school programs strictly run by volunteers where in one afternoon, a Black boy is starved of nutrients and affection and stabbed in the corner of his eye with the sharp end of a pencil. His tears and blood gush all at once. How my gill stayed stagnant, how my hand stayed still in the pocket of whiteness and not shielding his face, how my hand greases the pipeline for a smoother descent, how these babies so young, the pipeline masquerades itself into a slip and slide, and I know my short stay won't stop the drowning, and I will soon go back to an office job and choose health insurance over the wellness of Brooklyn's children, and shamefully decide I don't deserve a single Black friend. Brooklyn, I am too familiar with your two-faced, two-timing ways, the way unemployment leaves the poor food deserted, African nannies raising white babies, navigating pseudo-segregated playgrounds for a modest wage, how no amount of cash will bring back dead Black children, how I stayed silent because white proximity is security posing threat. And until I can stand up, no matter the consequence, I am not worthy of a single Black friend. Thank you.
Everybody, that was Amatan Noor. Thank you so much. And thank you for that amazing hosting, Mahogany. Brooklyn's lifting the bar right now. Like, the poetry is like, I need to just throw all my poetry away and try again. We're going to go ahead and get into the slam. Just a friendly reminder to all open mic participants, the focus is the slam tonight. So please keep your poems under 3 minutes. We're going to keep it going. Let's go ahead and get into the slam. You'll hear more open mic participants shortly after the first round of the slam, but we're going to go ahead and get into the grand slam finale for Rooftop Rhythms 82. It's the last slam event of our season. Tonight, you will see 7 poets competing to be our slam winner, which includes a lot of cool prizes, not really, but the biggest one is 100,000 feels, which is only about $270, but that's the best we could do. All right, so in Poetry Slam, there's no music, there are no costumes or props, and each poet will be performing original work. Poems may be up to 3 minutes long, but after a 10-second grace period, the performer loses points for going over time. We've chosen judges from the audience, the virtual audience, and they are, we're gonna bring them up. Hello, judges. How are you? All right, we have Chanel Gabriel. If you haven't seen her before, you probably missed her on HBO's Def Poetry Jam. She's an internationally touring poet. Wave at them, Chanel, if you're not already. Singer and lupus advocate, who hails from Brooklyn, New York, and the interim executive director at Urban Word, which is a youth organization that runs the National Youth Poet Laureate Program. That's pretty cool. We also have Faith. Raise your hand, Faith. She is a published children's book author and journalist from Tallahassee, Florida, where I went to Florida State University. She currently writes for the FSU Department of English and for the Tallahassee Democrat, Tallahassee's primary newspaper. We also have Muhammad Mukbul. He is a student poet who feels, speaks, and breathes poetry. He's majoring in social research and public policy and is looking to specialize in education. We also have my friend Terry Amal Sabahi, Director of Communications at EWEC, chair of MEPRA. He follows generations of poets in his family, documented and dating as far back as the 18th century. More importantly, he's a proud husband and father of 7. And we also have my friend Flo Poet, who is an IG specialist on Instagram and a mental health advocate. And so welcome. And finally, we have our timekeeper, Cameron. She is a writer and poet and the 2019 New York Youth Poet Laureate and the author of Queen Bee Cavity. You can find more about her work via her website, Cameron Bruno, that's C-A-M-R-Y-N, Bruno. Did I get everybody? I think I did. All right, so let's go ahead and keep it moving. These judges, we want you to know that you're going to score from 0.0 to 10.0, and that's for decimals to the 10th place only. All right. And let's go ahead and get into our sacrificial poet. This poet is not in the official competition, but we're going to score them just the same so that we can kind of calibrate and get ready for our first round of 7. And that poet is my friend and a recent NYU Abu Dhabi graduate, along with Aathma Dious. And her name is Maitha Al-Suwaidi. Welcome, Maitha.
Hello, thank you. Thank you so much. So this is one of the very first poems I performed at Rooftop, so it feels good to perform it after graduating. A few nights ago, I couldn't sleep. I was sitting alone, engulfed by this artificial cold, and I was finally getting used to the unnerving silence. A few nights ago, the silence felt loud. Your previously spoken words lurked in my mind and around my body. The words sleep and tired echoed inside my head like droplets of water in a cave. Pointless pounded on my eardrums as if they were punching bags. Sad poked on my cornea over and over again. And while your words were invading my body in this unnerving silence that I grew to appreciate, I swallowed the word anxious. I forced him down like how my mom force-fed me my embarrassing questions when I was younger. I didn't like the taste of him. He was bitter and hot. He burned the insides of my body as he went down. I swallowed the word anxious, but I couldn't digest him. He cut through my esophagus, leapt out, and clung onto my ribcage. Anxious was fiery. He was burning out in my ribcage like a supernova waiting to explode. Anxious was anxious, biting on his nails, biting on his lips until they bled black ink. Anxious is always hungry, gnawing on the bones of my ribcage, clinging onto them for dear life, biting, feeding, growing, wanting more, never appeased. Anxious is always sleepless. His eyes are wide open even when I force mine shut. His hands drum against my inner walls and unsynchronized beat he creates, and when I wake up, he is waiting for me. Anxious is tired though. He has been up all night, regretting, aching, overthinking, and he wants to sleep. You finally apologized. You begged me to find happiness, but happiness is unstable. She is old. She can't walk without her crutches. She is fading away. I told you that I would rather not invite her, for happiness is unhappy. But when anxious isn't beating you up, how else do you feel, you ask me? I don't. I've been sharing my bed with nothing, and just like myself, she turns ghost-like only at night, but she is always empty. Thank you so much.
Everybody, that was Maitha Al-Suwaidi, and congratulations again for graduating. Can't wait to see what you do next. All right, judges, we're gonna go straight to you. First, we'll check with Cameron. Cameron, I apologize, I didn't tell you that, but let's go ahead and start the time. As you know, as soon as that person starts talking or shows some type of performance movement. So if Maitha was in the official competition, we would start her right at her introduction, okay? How are we on time, Cameron? Thumbs up? All right, judges, we're gonna hold up the scores on 3. All right, I'm gonna go from lowest to highest. And please give me a minute to write them down. All right, we're ready on 1, 2, 3, put them up, put them up, put them up. From lowest to highest, I have an 8, 8.5, 8.9, 9.3, and a 9.4. Give me 1 second. That is 26.7 for Maitha Al-Suwaidi. Somebody check me over there. Chanel, I think you're good with math. If you don't mind double checking me to make sure I have it right. Let's go ahead and get to the first round of the competition. These poets actually drew numbers before the competition. We're all organized and stuff. So let's go ahead and get to the first poet in the first round of our Grand Slam finale. He goes by the name of Salem Attas. Show him some love, everybody.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salem Attas, and my head is slightly shaped like a potato. Do not let that influence your judging. I have to decide that who I am is up to me. It's no one else's responsibility, so finally taking accountability about how looking in the mirror makes it hard to have a conversation truthfully. I can no longer blame the youth in me. I want kids, and I can't help them grow out of something unless it's something I used to be. I'm a mess. My foundations are a wreck. It's like 5 crazy people you have to try to keep in check, like chaotic feelings trying to jump off the deck, avoiding bullets that pass a little too close to the neck. But I don't sweat, because I'm not alone. And I don't mean the blue light that blasts my eyes from my phone or every distraction helping me pretend that my heart is made of stone. I am talking about that man in the mirror that exposes the lies I've been told. My subconscious is a liar, and he feeds my ego. He tells me, just trust that I'm right, and I decide where we go. I make the rules and you follow, and ignore every interview that feels hollow, because my grand delusions don't include your confusion. You keep doubt to yourself, and I will keep us moving. But I don't like our direction or the things we're pursuing. You haven't led me to anything but my own doing. So who are you fooling? You have no intention of avoiding this collision. Just ignore the criticism and derision. I've got a good man inside him. You don't know what's in him, but I do. And as hard as you try to kill him, you can't kill my soul, even when my soul is not in rhythm, but you're too proud to listen. So I'll take it from here. It's been a long time since I've driven. Who I am will always be my decision. And that conversation is terrifying. Not like a daredevil who's death-defying, just the idea that my ideas, I'm exercising my right to choose my path with decisions that I'm identifying. So what will I choose? Now that I know that it's my choice, what can I prove now that I have found my voice? It doesn't matter. As long as I don't put my past under revision and keep in mind that who I am is always my decision. Thank you.
Everybody, that was Salem Attas. Showing some love wherever you are around the world right now. That was the first poet in the first round of our slam. We're going to go ahead and go to our judges and our timekeeper. Thank you, Salem, for that. All right, here we go. You can just spotlight the judges if you don't mind, so I can see them a little bigger, please. How are we on time, Cameron? We're good on time, all right. As long as it doesn't go over 3 minutes and 10 seconds, there's no penalty. Judges, let's hold them up on 3. All right, 1, 2, 3, hold them up. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.2. Please boo these people if you don't like their score in the chat. Please boo them. They will read this. All right. And cheer for them as well. If you like their score, I have a lowest to highest of 8.2, 8.3, 8.8, 8.9, and 8.9. I dropped the 8.2 and the 8.9, and I have a, correct me if I'm wrong, Chanel, I don't know if you're really helping me here, but I have a 26 point. You're not helping me. That's okay. All right. Check me, everybody. But I believe that is a 26.0. All right. 26.0 first round score for Salem. It's not easy to go first, but if he makes it to the second round, he'll have the privilege of going last. The point is not the point. The point is the poetry. So show some love one more time for Salem. Second poet in the first round goes by the name of Anis. Show him some love.
There's a misconception that Frankenstein is the monster. The name actually belongs to the man who made him. In the story, he is referred to as wretch, monster, it. In the story, he's as nameless as depression. If Frankenstein wrote a poem instead, a prose from the bones of his closet, maybe it'd be the meaning his monster wished he had. His heart must have been a faucet for trauma. Or maybe trauma was a faucet for his heart. Maybe stitching limbs into a sad monstrosity was easier. After all, a poem can sometimes resemble a soul too much. Hitler dreamed of being a painter. It was easier to wage world war and exact genocide than give life to a white canvas. Had he written stanzas, he'd probably see the reflection the mirror tried to show him before it was too late. Hate is the cheapest commodity a soul can buy to make sense of things. A twisted declaration of self-love attempting to spin itself into the shape of a heart that disfigured itself, configured itself to a fidgeting shelf of lies that tells itself she was the pages Frankenstein could have written on. He was the canvas Hitler could have painted on. Hate is an emptiness that shaped itself into the ghost the artists were never honest enough to see in themselves. Get a virus that pen of fate. We've been tempting it for too long. Watch it re-articulate the designs of neglect men are too afraid to admit. While the world bands together to usurp a world menace, remember how dolphins and swans swam back to Venice, how a clear sky hurried back to China, like the father kicked out by his prodigal sons, or how a son finally got to see his father up close. Give a virus a pen, that'll make a poem out of all of you, reminding you of a world full of consequences, making you second guess second chances, even the man you voted for in the elections. The coronavirus is laughing at your makeshift toilet rolls made of your CVS receipts, terrorizing supermarkets more than the kids you feared crossing the borders. If Frankenstein wrote a poem, Maybe he could have found love instead. If Hitler painted a painting, who knows?
Everybody, that was Mohammed Anis. All right. If you're feeling him, show some love in the chat, whether you're watching on IG, Facebook, or YouTube. And shouts out to the production team at the Art Center at NYU Abu Dhabi. They always keep things super professional. We appreciate you. All right, let's go to our judges. And first, our timekeeper, Cameron. How are we looking, Cameron, on the time? Oh, we're looking good. You got an easy job, Cameron. We're going to work your thumb muscle a little bit, but you're doing amazing. Okay, our experienced and super qualified judges, hold them up on 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, put them up. That was Anis, everybody. Danabelle, you're next, followed by Hiba Rashid on deck. From lowest to highest, we have a 7.6 from Terium. He's covering his face. He's ashamed of that score. We have an 8.7 from Mohammed Mukbel. We have an 8.8 from my friend Faith. We have a small 9.1 from the organized flashcards of Chanel Gabriel. And we have a 9.2 from Flo, who's just showing love today. Okay, we're going to take away the 7.6 and the 9.2, and we have a 26.6 first round score from Anis. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it flowing. If you're feeling good out there, everybody say yeah. If you're feeling good, everybody say heck yeah. All right, the next person on the stage, the third person in the first round is Danabelle Gutierrez. Show her some love.
This poem is called Soft Curves, Sharp Tongue. Habibi, Ayuni, I whisper to you in the dark and you smile. I love it when you breathe. In Arabi, you say. The nights that I want to kiss you in the language my mother taught me, I stop myself, knowing how my tongue would curl on the accent and how its staccato would sharpen my teeth. Even the word soft, malambot, sounds like something that can hit you in the head, and the word surrender, suko, sounds like something that I can kill you with. And I love you too much. So instead, I speak to you with eyelashes downturned, mouth small, hands weak, knees turned inward. I love you in English prose and I kiss you in French songs. Mon bonheur te ressemble. Tous les deux, vous allez si bien ensemble. Last Saturday, you asked me why I whisper sweet nothings to you in every other language except for my own. I smiled and said, did you know that when translated, the derivation of my language, Tagalog, Tagailog, means of the river? The truth is, if I speak it, I'm afraid you won't survive the waterfall you see. My tongue was handed down to me by datus and katiponeros. The truth is, my mouth is a battlefield you wouldn't know how to fight in. Thank you.
Everybody, that was Danabelle Gutierrez. We're going to keep it going, keep it flowing. Hiba Rashid, you're next, followed by Bluz and Mista Fun. Let's go ahead and take it to our judges and our timekeeper. How are we doing, Cameron, on time? You're the best timekeeper we've ever had. You're so efficient. All right, everybody, in celebration of diversity, this time we're going to get you to hold them up on Thalatha, which is Arabic that I can't speak that well, but here we go. What if Neen Thalatha? Hold them up. Terium was feeling that one. All right, from lowest to highest, we have a 9.0 from Muhammad. We have a 9.3 from Chanel. We have a 9.3 from Faith. We have a the 9.2 is second. We have a 9.0, 9.2 from Terium, a 9.3, a 9.3, and a 9.5 from Flo. We're going to cancel out the highest and the lowest score, and we have a 27.8. We kept the 9.2, the 9.3, and the 9.3. And that is correct. A 27.8 first round score for Danabelle Gutierrez. Let's keep it going, everybody. Please show some love to Hiba Rashid.
I saw dead monkeys fall off trees on my path. I was in a soothing, lush resort when these monkeys just dropped dead in front of me. An Islamic scholar once said that dead monkeys in a dream signify the end of a hardship or a cure from an illness, and I was elated. but that was just half the truth. 3 weeks before this dream, COVID struck like lightning in our household, hold of our bodies, hold of our freedom, hold of our psyche, hold of our breathing. I thought I was going to die. My husband thought he was going to die. My mother-in-law did die. My mother-in-law, my second mother, beloved grandmother of my children, a power machine, a phoenix, an oak tree with ample shade for strangers and loved ones. Although our families survived COVID, our souls were buried with her. This is how the story plays in every home now. I try to find a silver lining in every cloud, but how am I to explain death, pandemic to an 8-year-old who draws white blood cells and viruses rather than sunshine and princesses? How am I to explain manufactured disease, new world order to a 6-year-old who had to cry himself to sleep every night because he was unnecessarily separated from his family for 12 days while carrying the virus all along, but got a negative test result, then a positive test result? Don't give me all that nonsense about asymptomatic and pluses and minuses. The accuracy of a medical test result should not be questioned. I worry about a present and a future for my children on a depleting planet, not just climate change or environmental destruction, but destruction of the humanity, love, and goodness that were interwoven in the fabric of life when it was born. I worry about a vaccine card that will define my identity, unvaccinated divergents who will be scorned. It took a pandemic and loss of a loved one to make me value God more. So the most significant antidote everyone should be injected with is a spiritual renaissance. Thank you.
Everybody, that is Hiba Rashid, the defending champion from last year. Let's go ahead and go to our judges and our esteemed thumb utilizing timekeeper. How are we doing, Cameron, on time? Look at that thumb, everybody. It's just, that's a nice thumb. I mean, I'm not flirting, but that's a nice thumb you got there. All right, judges, hold them up on trois. If you've ever been to France, I think we say trois. We're gonna say un, deux, trois. Hold them up. That's Hiba Rashid. Bluz is next, followed by Mista Fun and Rakaya, all the way from the UK. Let's hold them up. Here we go. From lowest to highest, Terium is in hater mode again with an 8.1. We have pretty even scores after that with an 8.6 from Faith, an 8.7 from Chanel, an 8.7 from Muhammad, and an 8.8 from Flo, who is in the dim darkness of her room. Everybody, we're going to keep the 8.6, the 8.7, and the 8.7, which, if my fast simple math skills serve me correct, that is a 26.0 for Hiba Rashid, first round score. The point is not the point. The point is not the point. The point is the poetry. Let's keep it going, everybody, all the way right now, checking in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Please show some love to Bluz, 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 Bluz.
This poem is called DNA after Kendrick Lamar. And it will tell you that I'm so thick with my ancestors' accent that I spit middle passage, saltwater passages, till I'm dehydrated, till I feel faded, like I just stepped off the slave ship, looked at the new world, turned to my folk and said, hey, look, y'all, we made it. Like getting here was a choice. Ask Kanye about enslaved options, like we came here with the option to work or die, like the option of slave wages is better than 12 gauges to my torso. Like my ancestors decided that the only way for the bloodline to survive was to use black hands, so they turned blood red from snatching up white cotton, you know, doing what was necessary. So this black boy even had a shot to rock in this mic box and remind y'all that their existence was necessary. I am black soul, would pull like a black hole, electro funk spectacular backflip into oblivion. Mississippian. Boy, I'm ice cold. I am classic good. Got goddamn it buried in my DNA. Got Harriet Tubman ready to human traffic my loved ones out the prison system in my DNA. All gas, no brakes till we break chains, shatter the shackles and set loose the falsely imprisoned and accused. I got blues in my DNA. Mississippi Delta mud holding the echoes of black men murdered for a song. I got switchblade and slide guitar in my DNA. Juke joint and pulpit prophet, spitting sin and gospel, sipping gin while spinning scriptures from the Bible. When you address me, make sure you put God in my title. Got heaven in my DNA. Got bring back the dead in my DNA. Turn blood and bones into stone in my DNA. A hurricane of James Baldwin from Africa's winds in my DNA. My DNA got drums and thump, chain gang songs rocking from a boom box, digging up the slave grave plots, watching my ancestors dance to the rhythm of my black boy joy in my DNA. No ways tired in my DNA. Gospel choir in my DNA. The prayers of my grandmother got my bone structure set up with 7 kinds of creators cracking God codes in my DNA. Hella black in my DNA. Melanin and magic in my DNA. Nat Turner with the burner in my DNA. Breonna Taylor in my DNA. Tamir Rice in my DNA. Sojourner Truth in my DNA. Emmett Till in my DNA. Medgar Evers, Maxine Waters, Shaka Zulu, Malcolm X, Jim Brown, Coretta Scott. I got the ghosts of Gone Too Soon in my DNA. There's a resurrection in my DNA, a revolution in my... Thank you.
Everybody, that is Boris Bluz Rogers. Show him some love. Let's go to our judges and the timekeeper. Just want to remind you all, everybody, this is a PG show for families, so please be mindful of your language. All right, we're going to keep it going. Let's see how was the time, Cameron. Uh-oh, she was hesitant with the thumb, but the thumb is up. The time was good. Judges, let's hold them up on 3. 1, 2, 3, put them up for Bluz. After that, Mista Funn's coming next, Rakaya. Then we'll go to a brief open mic before we go to our final round of the slam, which is only the top 4 poets. We love all the poets, but we can only go with the top 4. Here we go. From lowest to highest for Bluz, we have a 87, Muhammad Mukbal, 87. It's an 8.7. All right, here we go. We have a 8.9. We have a 9.2 from Faith. A 9. Chanel was a little hesitant on, is that a 0 or a 6? But that looks like a 6. And we got a 9.7 with a smiley face, which still rounds up to a 9.7. Let's drop the 8.7, drop the 9.7, and we now have a 27.8 first round score for Bluz. If you like slamming and enjoying this, although our season is over on June 8th through the 12th, Abu Dhabi is bringing the first ever international team to the Southern Fried Poetry Slam. You can go to southernfriedpoetryslam.com. Shouts out to Yolanda Yogi Barnes. We're going to be competing in a 21 to 24 team competition with poets from all over the world. So please check out Southern Fried Poetry Slam if you'd like to check that out. June 8th through the 12th. It will be virtual. All right, let's go ahead and go to the 6th poet in the first round. Show some love to Mista Fun.
Every Saturday, the routine was simple. Wake up early, make a bowl of cereal, watch cartoons, wrestling, kung fu theater, then out the door till the street lights came on. Nothing was off limits. Everything was a good idea. I dare you was a requirement. If someone said no, the correct response was, I triple dog dare you to do it. In the hood, we never stuck our tongue to cold things. We were crazy, not stupid. The kinds of kids who threw rocks at bottles, poked beehives with sticks, chased each other with whatever touched that dead thing. Grown folks knew everything was fine as long as they heard noise outside, but let it get quiet. Even for a second. What y'all doing out there? Ooh, you gonna get it. This was a universal signal that something was wrong. So we did our best to hide everything. Deep cuts, hairline fractures, and broken bones. Pain was just a result of tested boundaries. The reward, parents asking, how'd you get grass in there? The less we had, the more creative we had to be. No money for water guns, we used party balloons and hydrants. No cash for ice cream on them hot days, we had frozen cups from Kool-Aid, the red kind. Flip them upside down where all the sweetness was. Who needs a playground? We had abandoned lot gymnasiums, stack a few mattresses and a nice wall and do a triple somersault till you could high five the sun, but somehow we have forgotten how to be children. Our kids have no idea how to think for themselves. We have become puppets to our devices, hunting for the nearest indoor outlet. We are so plugged in, our imaginations are disconnected. Tell me, when was the last time you used your hands to tag someone and actually touch them? Well, before COVID, really the only viruses we had back then were ringworm, poison ivy, and cooties. But for 25 cents over by the monkey bars, you could get your cootie shots. We created a lifetime of memories from a Dixie cup of resources. Our kids don't know the first thing about dodgeball, freeze tag, or just playing till you were tired and dirty and then taking a bath and getting the best sleep you ever had. You see, we are child-proofing the world, not giving them enough space to be human. Instead of testing their limits by giving them the sky, we make a virtual escape rooms with no way out. It's too quiet. Parents, what are y'all doing out there? Put your feet in. Train number 9 going down Chicago line. If that train jumps the track, let's get back to the days of living. For Saturdays, everyone is it, and I triple dog dare you to say no.
Everybody, that was on deck, Rakaya. All right, thank you, Mr. Fun, thank you, thank you. Let's go ahead and go to the judges, please. All right, how are we doing on time, Cameron? Okay, I got a little scared there. All right, just a quick correction on the math. That was not a 27.8 for Bluz, that was a 27.7. I was off by 1/10 of a point. Let's see if I can get it correct this time. Judges, hold it up on 3. 1, 2, 3. From lowest to highest, we have Terium with an 8.3. We have Faith with an 8.9, Muhammad with a 9.0. Flo with a 9.6, and Chanel with a 9.8. We'll take away the 9.8 and the 8.3, and that is a 27.5 for Mista Fun. Only one more poet in the first round. Then we'll go directly to Mahogany L. Browne, who will continue a brief open mic before we go back to the second round of the slam. Please hang around with us. We'll only go to about 9:45-ish. GST time, or 1:45 is Eastern Standard Time. All right, let's go ahead and go to the last poet in the first round. She goes by the name of Rakaya.
We have waited at the door, swallowed our tongues like forbidden fruit, put our trust in a system that has slithered through the ages, leaving venom in our necks, coiling around our children before the umbilical is cut. We have waited at the door, hoping for a slice of our humanity to be given back, for Black lives to be treated like they matter to those queasy full from pigs, privilege, poison, platters that bloat you with supremacy, gifted by the hands of favoritism, hands that write letters in the stars to honor you, pure white, and you, good, acceptable other. Eat from my greasy bounty. You are not like the Black ones. We have waited at the door, but we will not wait anymore. You will swallow your tongue now with all the food you have guzzled, reparations embezzled, and listen when we say, your mother was Black, and all the first women in humanity. And they look down in disgust at how you have desecrated the family, how you have murdered, tortured, beaten, lied to, harassed, and hated, then wrinkled your noses and turned your faces when there is blood seeping under the door. But we are here, still, heartbroken and angry. We are sheer will, have not eaten, but are so full of light, so full of flight, still bearing the weight of ancestral plight, but we are not disposable. We are not replaceable. We are not transparent, so don't tell me you don't see color. See this Black erupting through the night sky. See it filling space. See it in our eyes. With our eyes, we can look towards a better destination than this. But first, we must understand the past. No blind eyes to the imbalances we believed were written in the stars. Torches for those scared of their own bias, afraid of their own dark. Let's all look back together and bring down false glories of the past, because that is the only place to start.
Everybody, that was Rakaya checking in right now from London. We got people from all over the world performing and checking in and watching the event. So thank you so much. And we're asking right now that you click share to your former AA group, to your exercise group, to your church's group. Poetry is for everyone. So we're asking everybody to share. We're at like 40 something people on Facebook, and we hope to take that as high as possible because poetry is for everyone. Thank you so much, Rakaya. Let's go ahead and check with our judges and timekeeper. And we got a request, Cameron, for you to use your left hand this time, okay? Just to rest your right hand, okay? So we were good on time. Judges, hold them up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold them up. Rakaya has a first round. Okay, Terium was showing love, and then he decided to like hate a little bit. So he went from a 9.2 to a 9.0. Terium, you're a tough one. All right, 9.2 from Muhammad, who saw all smiles right now. 9.5 from Faith in Tallahassee, Florida. 9.8 from Chanel in New York, and 9.8 from Flo in the UAE. We're gonna take away the 9.0, take away the 9.8, and we have a 28.5 for Rakaya. We'll give you more updates on who made it to the second and final round. But for right now, show some love to all the poets in the first round. And now we're going to shoot back over to Mahogany L, Browne for a few more open mic participants before the final round. What's up, Mo?
Yo, I had to go do a change. It got hot. It turned out it's summer in Brooklyn. So, and of course the stage is hot. So I had to make sure that I'm prepared for this next round, this final round of slam. But like you said, open mic first. And what better way to open up this second portion of the open mic than to bring one of the only folks to be on 2 New York Slam teams at the same time. Repping Brooklyn by way of Panama, please welcome CJ Parker.
How you doing? This poem is roughly 10 tales from a diversity, equity, and inclusion council. 1. White woman and self-proclaimed ally calls herself an ally because she herself proclaimed it. That's it. That's the whole story. 2. White woman wonders why white people aren't invited to the people of color employee resource group. Says she can be an ambassador. Maybe even bring the potato salad. 3, the CEO of my company says, CJ, you're a man of few words, but when you do speak, they are profound. I fail to muster the courage to tell her I'm just baffled into silence most days. 4, white woman says she feels for our cause. Loses a queer Latinx woman, hires a white man. 5, we lose an average of 1.5 people of color per month over the course of a year. That's it. That's the entire story. 6, white woman tells me she's going crazy indoors. Says she likes to go on walks. I tell her I need to walk too. Smile and neglect to mention why I'm walking. Neglect to mention who I'm walking for insert hashtag here, for insert name here, for insert dead here. 7, white woman says historically violence doesn't lead to change. I cackle. Luckily, I'm muted. Luckily, I didn't Boston Tea Party the Zoom meeting. Luckily, I didn't ask my grandmother if a man being hosed on her television set changed her life as much as a video on Facebook changed mine. Both state-sanctioned acts of violence, both a government foreign to its people. 8, if you couldn't tell, I work with a lot of white women. The irony of being physically imposing to my environment, yet still fearing for my life. 9, there isn't a day I don't fear for my life. My coworkers check in on me. In corporate jargon, you can say they're grabbing a pulse on things, and there's some more irony for you. How I remember my heartbeats whenever a patrol car passes and update them with the news of my survival. My survival has just been made a priority to my company. Now, isn't this a poem chocked full of irony, or perhaps a poem of tall tales? Thank you.
Whew. I feel like I was in that meeting too, CJ. Thank you for making an archive of our survival. And it looks like I'm next, so I'm gonna share a poem. Is that okay? I wish I would say no, because I'm gonna do it anyway. I like to be, that's as slam as I get these days. I just go against the grain. And even more so because we are in a time, in a state where we are constantly preparing ourselves to mask up, to go outside. And before that, if you were a Black or brown person, a marginalized voice in the world, you were always wearing an armor to assure you got home safely to your family. This is a meditation for you as you prepare to go out. I just want you to remember who you are. Remember that you are brilliant, and wherever you are, place both feet firmly on the ground. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. I learned that in yoga, but I'm sure people do this all the time. In through your nose, all the good that you are. Hold that breath. Exhale, self-doubt. And if any of these words remain with you, thank you for carrying me with you. Today you will. Today you choose. Today is yours. Today is only today. Tomorrow ain't here yet, so slow down. Slow down. Breathe softly, slowly. Breathe for the homies that ain't here. Breathe for the kin that is. Breathe for your own good skin, your smile, your you. Come back. Come back. Come back to yourself. Look at your cheekbones. Look at the loft of your eyebrows. You so worthy. You so heavy in your weight of yes. You so necessary. You so fly. You wet the water. You cool the brow. You heat the skillet. You the sunset and the sustenance. You keep them chasing the sparks you leave. Today you will. And today you choose. And today is yours. Yes, today is only today, because tomorrow ain't here yet. So slow down. Slow down. Breathe softly, slowly. Breathe for the homies that ain't here. Breathe for the kin that is. Breathe for your own good skin, your smile, your you. Come back. Come back. Come back to yourself. Miraculous stargaze, most fortunate sky beam. Beyond brilliant, be your resilience, but you knew that already. Who told you any different? You tell them, today you will. And today you choose, and today is yours. Yes, today.
Where should we start today?
It's only today.
I'm gonna get my car ordered.
Because tomorrow ain't here yet, so slow down. Slow down. Breathe softly, slowly. Breathe for the homies that ain't here. Breathe for the kin that is. Breathe for your own good skin, your smile, tribe, you. Come back, come back, come back to yourself. Anything that don't heighten your stride, leave it today. Anything that don't propel your wingspan forward, leave it today. Whoever told you you wasn't strong, whoever told you you wasn't fly, whoever told you you wasn't brilliant, whoever told you you wasn't beautiful is a lie. Deep breath in through your nose. Exhale the doubt. Thank you. And closing up this open mic, co-founder, DJ, poet, archivist, and activist. Welcome to our virtual stage, Jive Poetic.
All right. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Dorian, Paul D. Thank you, Rooftop Rhythms. Large up all of the poets. Poem's been dope. Experience has been dope. I'm gonna share a poem with you, and boom, that's the whole intro. I'm not good at intros. I don't have no magic tricks to do. Poof, poem. I don't. So here we go. Worst case scenario. On one shoulder, his imagination appears and says, "You might be Knight Rider." On his other shoulder, his good sense appears and says, "Hey, you should listen to that guy. He might be right." In the back of his head, the theme song plays the boy into a running engine, convinced he has the turbo boost to run, slide, and stop at the edge of a 5-foot elevation. He does not, though. Church ladies waiting at the bus stop gasp a group prayer, "Please spare this child, for he believes in himself more than he believes in gravity." Worst case scenario, we are the same full speed ambition spinning on black ice. Only I am the emergency brake. He is the gas pedal. We fight over the steering wheel. In the back seat, a version of us grows into a seatbelt full of second guesses. He gets out at the next intersection and lets a standardized test chase him out of a PhD application and into an argument with Foot Locker. Worst case scenario, Foot Locker puts him on hold. Worst case scenario, we wait. Like a fall to the concrete. Wasn't the universe proving that it could scoop our atoms out of our body and place them back into its change purse whenever it wants to prove a point? A flight crashes into the World Trade Center and we are on a train underneath. Our landlord gives our rent money to an arsonist when we are asleep. A pandemic whispers itself into our lungs and we wake up older than what the warning shots bet the farm on. And the PhD application still never gets done. Because one of us is somewhere rambling about 70s and 80s TV shows, and the other one is still on the phone with Foot Locker, arguing like we don't have a closet full of sneakers I haven't even worn. Worst case scenario, the church ladies see all of this, pack up their prayers, and get on the bus. Hey, look, my name is Jive Poetic. Live your best life. Don't waste your dreams chasing materialism, and don't do nothing to make people take their prayers away from you. All right, back to the game.
Thank you so much, Jive, and thank you, Mo. Your hosting is too good, Mo. Please don't steal my job. Please don't leave her IG information there just in case the Art Center wants her to start hosting. And your background's amazing. Everybody, that's BK Poetry Slam representing the open mic, BK Poetry Slam on Instagram, Brooklyn Poetry Slam on Facebook, and you're gonna see a couple more performances from the open mic before we end the show. But for right now, let's go ahead and get back into the slam. Please show some love to all 7 first-round performers. Due to time, we can only go with the top 4, and they are from lowest score to highest score, making it into the final round. 27.5 with Mista Fun currently in 4th place. 27.7, clap your hands and snap your fingers. 27.7 in 3rd place with my friend Bluz. 27.8 with my friend Danabelle in the UAE. And currently in 1st place, 28.5, it's Rakaya all the way from UK right now. We're gonna go in reverse order of the 1st round. So Rakaya went last, so now she'll be 1st, followed by Danabelle, Bluz, and Mista Fun. Everybody show some love one more time for the final round performance of Rakaya.
The world is yours. She's having a car boot sale on black clouds, the kind that plume heavy and follow. So even when the sun is high, it's too dark to see tomorrow. This humbling, she's selling for $1 and a dream, so kids born in affliction can choose a new theme. Some say they saw her in Nabi Saleh, wrapped in kafiyya at the foot of her house, throwing punches at a cloud in uniform, armed with rubber, metal, and gas. Limbs and stones are all she has, but does not see herself as a victim. She's a witness of men grinding the land like spices, split apart, a scattered people scattering people, or kettling them to a crumb of their home, cattle herding to a corner with no space to roam. She says no. A windstorm in her fist, she cries, I was born a daughter of Palestine. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Some say her spirit is chained in China, a muting shadow cast over Xinjiang. She fasts in Ramadan, but is force-fed a new identity, hushed into submission. And when her stomach swells, she is made to abort and sterilized. When her voice is taken, there's a scream in her eyes. I have rights on this earth, and the choice to give birth is mine, it's mine, it's mine. Some say they saw her in the Amazon of Ecuador, with flame red across her cheeks, with her tribe of Waorani women blazing through their lush canvas of green and brown, anything but weak. While dark clouds slick as oil try mining into ancient soil to kill the landscape, matar la cultura. She will not give up land that is viva y pura. While their greed breaks through the acres, she won't stand benign. She fights. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. And was that her behind a fortress of papers in London, trying to decode decades of documents and prove her grandparents' right to live in the country they grew up in and raised their kids, brought from Caribbean islands in a whirlwind with the windrush and heady dreams to give everything to the foggy city. But hostile environments for immigrants mean they're not home in the only place they've ever truly known. Britishness given and taken away on whim, smog clouds in the system, but she's fighting to win. No more using than shipping away, not this time. I know this place. I know what's mine. That's her, always making a deal with the sky on these dark clouds that plume heavy and follow, pushing her out or closing her in at the doors. But whose world is this? The world is yours.
Everybody, that was Rakaya. Thank you, Rakaya. If you're loving Rakaya, please show some love in the comment section. Maybe the judges will see it before they give their final score. All right, here we go, judges. And the left hand of Cameron. Here we go. How are we on time, Cameron? All right, and Cameron, we invite you back to join us if we continue virtually in the fall. We would love to hear your poetry as well as all the judges if you write. All right, here we go. Judges, please hold them up on the count of three. This is the second and final round score of Rakaya. 1, 2, 3, put them up, put them up, put them up, up, up. From lowest to highest, here goes Terium with an 8.5. I can hear the boos coming from a neighbor next door, Terium. All right, we have a 9.6 from Muhammad, a 9.7 from Faith, a 9.8. And is this the first 10 of the night? The first 10 of the night from Flo. She's warming up. Okay, we have now a score of 29.1 for Rakaya. Show her some love, but the point is not the points. The point is the poetry. So we're going to keep it going for the final round performance of Mista Fun. Show him some love.
My son was born July 30th, 2003. I guess I was doing a good enough job with my daughter. The universe decided a son. 1 year, 2 days later, the spitting image of me, my hands will be full, but a second chance to be even better. Learn from the past. I will teach him everything. I had to learn a hard lesson 18 months in. Jonathan didn't develop as fast as his sister. Being father to a son with special needs, I didn't know what to do with this. Autism has so many labels, but no real definition. Didn't fully understand the word father. I guess I was doing a good enough job, even if I never knew what a father actually looked like. For the first few years, I did what parents do best. When we don't know how to do something, you learn to fake it, pretend you know what you're doing, hope that it works. First lesson, be patient. Counting to 10 helps him focus when his world is frustrated. For me, counting helps me focus, keeps me from getting frustrated. Most of the time it works. We are still learning. Jonathan loves music. His favorites are Dora the Explorer, VeggieTales, and PJ Masks. So of course, I had to learn to sing the theme songs when counting doesn't work. My voice is the calm in his world. Next lesson, always have a backup device when the tablet batteries die, especially when out in public. People mean well. They will apologize when you say he is autistic. Don't say he has autism. Sounds like he's condemned to be a victim. So smile when they say you look like such a good dad. There is no social promotion for being a parent. Being a father takes practice. Never contemplate leaving, although maybe my father would have stayed if my needs were special, but I didn't need him to catch me, kiss me, tell me he loved me. I sure as heck didn't need him the first time the doctor said autism. Trying to be a good father when you're suffocating in your own daddy issues is a continuous learning curve, a steady imbalance of highs and lows. The more you feel like I'm being a good dad is the more you feel like I wasn't good enough to be a son. When people ask, how do you do it? Like I'm not still faking it, hoping that it works. I learned to be MacGyver, trying to keep it together with gum and a paperclip, no matter the episode. Like the first day of middle school, Jonathan became lion roar outbursts. He couldn't tell me what was wrong. The fate of his world depends on me. I only had seconds before the school system becomes minefield judgment, labels my son problem child, tries to school him alternative. My arms hold him tight without restriction, count backwards from 10 to calm his world. I sing that song he likes. PJ Mask, it's the PJ Mask. PJ Mask, it's the PJ Mask. The love in my voice splices through. Jonathan joins in, crisis averted. His world is saved. I am still teaching him everything, learning from my past on the fly. I chase him, catch him, kiss him, tell him that I love him. No one taught me. The truth is it just comes natural. And since we're being honest, I get jealous sometimes because even my son has a better father than I do.
Everybody, that was Mista Fun checking in from Atlanta, Georgia right now. Let's go ahead and go to our judges and our esteemed super thumb timekeeper. There she is, and she is good with the time. All right, let's go ahead and check with our judges. Judges, how are you feeling? Just take a deep breath. Are you feeling good? We really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to check in with us and hold it down from the judging side of things. Hold them up on 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Put them up, put them up. Only 2 poets left in the slam, and then 2 more open mic participants, and then the evening is yours, all right? Here we go, from lowest to highest. We have an 8.9 from Faith. We have a 9.3 from Muhammad, a 9.3 from Chanel, who looks like she's running out of paper. We have a adjusted score, looks like, from my friend Terium with a 9.6, and Flo is still showing the most love with a 9.8. We're gonna drop the 8.9, drop the 9.8, and we have a 28.2 second round score from Mista Fun. Thank you, brother. Let's go ahead and go. We have Bluz next, followed by Danabelle Gutierrez. So show some love right now to Bluz.
My daughter goes to therapy. It helps to quiet some of the noise of being a teenager, helps to bury the pain of loss of a best friend at 14, helps to tame some of the anxiety of a mother's expectation. I sit in the false comfort of a lullaby lobby. It's a limbo with a leather couch, a carousel of coffees for a Keurig, matching mugs and Wi-Fi with enough bandwidth to process all of your worries, because this place makes you question everything. John Mayer is playing from the corner of the room, like ironic thoughts set to soft guitar. Father, speak good to your daughters. And now you question, am I enough of a John Mayer song for her? Do Black girls even need therapy? How many Black women wish they had therapy when they were Black girls? Wish their fathers would have been, wish their fathers would have considered therapy, just wish their fathers would have considered being fathers. As a father, I remember all of my dark places. And then I wonder if I left a map with all of my suicide thoughts marked, buried inside my baby's sadness, something she found after the tears washed away the dirt that covered it, that pointed out the places to go and hurt yourself, and no one knows where to find you if she finds it, the map. I hope this therapist helps her avoid all of the marked spots, the dark areas. I hope they don't ask me for help trying to navigate it, ask me for answers. I don't have enough soft guitar and easy calm to give her the response she needs in song. I'm just one more complicated and confused question sitting in a limbo lobby, not drinking the coffee, not getting comfortable on the couch, trying to block out the John Mayer melody, just wondering if I even made the right decision to bring her here. Television has taught me to be father to your daughter means making hard decisions, tough choices about how they will grow up, not the decisions included. James Evans never took Thelma to therapy. Uncle Phil never took Hillary or Ashley to therapy. Cliff Huxtable or Carl Winslow never took their daughters to therapy. Black fathers don't take care of their daughters in this way because admitting that your child needs a therapist is a blow to your ego and feels like an indictment of your parenting, like you're not doing a good job. So instead, we often hypertension, ghost story, father fable, and useless sage advice them with our unnecessary masculinity. Tell them the allegories about their strength of their Black skin, their natural hair and the rivers, their ancestors waded in to get them to be strong, to get them to overlook the need for mental health. Tell them that their bloodline and a fix-it-all Jesus will be enough to make you unsad. Because Black fatherhood says don't let them into your mind, don't let them into your body. Robitussin and the Bible are always the perfect home remedy. The session is only an hour, but I need it to last a lifetime. I need it to lift her up from a rock bottom, to rise her in the morning when the depression is so heavy that not even her grandmother's Black girl magic stained in her DNA is enough to drag her out of bed. I need her to know it's okay to not be okay. The music is a blend of annoying and truth. She walks out of the session, a smile etched into her face, and I want to trust that that's a breakthrough. But fathers will always carry worry and question. I think that's what good fathers do. So I question, I wonder if she found that map. I wonder if I will ever be enough of a John Mayer song for this Black girl.
Everybody, that was a final round performance of Bluz. All right, let's go to our judges and our timekeeper. Only one performer left in the last round of the slam. Cameron, how are we? Uh-oh, what is this? She pulled out the iPad. Hold on. It is a 0.5 penalty for every 10 seconds over. And I think Bluz knew that, but he shared such a necessary poem. Thank you for that, Bluz. Give me 1 second to calculate this. Hold it up one more time, please. All right. There's a 2.5 penalty from this score, unfortunately, as it's 0.5 penalty for every 10 seconds over. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the judges. Judges, please hold them up on 3. 1, 2, 3. From lowest to highest, we have a 9.3, a 9.3, a 9.6, a 9.6, and the second 10 of the night, we dropped the lowest and the highest score, the 9.3 and the 10, and we have a 28.5 minus 2.5 is a 26.0. As we always say, the point is not the point is the poetry. Show them some love to Bluz one more time, everybody in the chats, and big them up and all the performers so far. Let us know your comments and your feedback. We have the last performer in the final round. What we're going to do after we get Danabelle's score is go to Mahogany L Browne for 2 more poets, and that'll allow us to tabulate the final scores. Then we'll come back to you with the scores and we'll end the show. So thank you so much for hanging around. We should only be around for about 10 to 15 more minutes. So please hang in and please let your friends know to join us before we end the show. Let's go ahead and go to Danabelle Gutierrez.
The languages buried deep in my tongue do not know the taste of home, has tried to replicate Tahanan in English, auf Deutsch, بالعربي, en français. Gingembre in every city has helped me swallow enough keys to doors my belly has learned to make room for. I have been traveling since I was 7. I sniff for directions nach zu Hause. I learned Yasmin is sampaguita, but only one of them is steeped in hot water, the other bought from tiny hands and hung on rearview mirrors. 4,000 miles whence my hands have tried to build a house on sand where my toes recognize the feeling of baiti. I distract myself with growing in every garden, luya, ginger, ingwer, zanjabil, the rough and spice of it, the root abundant and everywhere. I trust the magic of the earth will bloom flowers, common or precious or je ne sais quoi. Above me, the birds in flight are singing a different song while I have memorized the lyrics for this constant plucking and uprooting. I am honeyed throat and ambered lip. I am sweet enough for bird song, but I will tell you plainly, I am tired. I am lost. Please help me make sense of this. The salt of my skin, longing for origin, hopes for clouds, for less horizon, less gravity, else feathers. Dear birds, tell me what to do when the ocean cuts itself in half again. The seabed trail beckoning me to walk between saltwater walls. Dear birds, I envy the knowledge your wings bear, knowing how to leave, when to come back, and where. Thank you so much.
Everybody, that was the last performer of the final round of the Grand Slam finale, and that was Danabelle Gutierrez. Let's go to the judges and the timekeeper. Camera, how are we looking? We're good on time. She's showing that left hand some love. You can go back to the right. Well, I guess that's the last one. So, all right, the right hand has been retired. Thank you so much, Cameron, for your timekeeping tonight. Judges, hold them up on 3. Mahogany L, Browne, get ready. We have 2 more open mic performances, and then I will give the final places of the slam. All right, judges on 3. Y'all show some love to our judges. Mohammed Mukbil, Flo, Cameron on timekeeper, Faith all the way from Tallahassee, Terry Masbahi, and Chanel Gabriel. All right, judges on 3. 1, 2, 3, put them up. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Terry is deciding, should I hate? Should I show love? We have from lowest to highest a 9.1, a 9.3, a 9.5, a 9.5, and a 9.7. We will take out the 9.7 and the 9.1 for a total second round score for Danabelle Gutierrez of a 28.3. I know you want to know who is the winner. If you didn't calculate yourself, you won't know until you see these last 2 open mic performances. So go ahead and let's take it over to my friend, Mahogany L. Browne.
Yeah, y'all gotta wait and figure it out. Math can be difficult, but poems make you feel everything. So just sit in that while we listen to these last 2 poets. Are you ready? If you're not, get ready. Right now, coming to the stage, Akshita Kanna. Akshita Kanna. There we go. Good to see you, Akshita.
Greetings to everyone. I'm Akshita and I'm really grateful that I got this opportunity to present my poem based on the power of humanity, titled The Virtue of Humanity, Invincibility. Invincibility is not fighting alone with swords or weapons. It is your ability to fight for others no matter who threatens. It is not regretting the past and living every moment of the present, which is fast. It is about being prepared for the future, which may or may not last. When we face a challenge, the only way is to accept it. Face it, but you must believe in the power within you, your invincible spirit. The spirit that can defy all odds, cross every stone. The graceful yet fierce possession that one must always own. The power of your spirit is like that single light's ray which illuminates darkness and wipes away fear. It brings an eternal hope when you realize the dark tunnel is over and the opening is here. The spirit of fury, determination, strength, and the vision of dreams, which can take you through the toughest of deserts or the deepest of streams. The spirit has helped us battle the pandemic situation with the hope of light leading to success's destination, spreading the optimism of bravery and building a stronger society, rising with the spirit of hope which can bring back the connect of humanity. Before our invincible spirit, negativity kneels. It spreads the light of courage and wisdom, and everything heals. Even amidst the darkest night or the deepest gloom, the power of such a spirit can make a tiny little flower bloom. Walk with this spirit in your heart. You will lead time, and success will also bow. The spirit by which even the coldest glaciers find ways to flow. With such a hopeful spirit, there is only sunlight and no shadow. Even the sunshine beneath the snow will have to come out and glow. Challenges await your path, but with that one step, you have to begin. Ignite the power within you. Keep moving and believe that you have to win. You are invincible. Believe it or not. Every battle has been won only when one has fought. Thank you. I'm Akshita, and this was my poem titled The Virtue of Humanity, Invincibility. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for that. All light, everything. We be the light, y'all. And our last performer tonight, this afternoon, today. Yo, the time zones is crazy. But this poet is better than all of the time zones, so it don't even matter. Wherever you are, you about to get woken up. Make some noise for Salient Voice.
Hello, hi. So my name is Salient Voice. Salient means to be important. And this poem is called Don't Let Go on a Daily. And I also just want to say thank you for this opportunity as well. It was something about your smile. It had the perfect lift. It was something about you, your personality, your approach. I couldn't resist. You were everything I wanted, even when I felt so guarded. Your emotion you shared, you chose to be open, even whilst I felt so broken. You knew when to catch me, you knew the right things to attract me. You're an ambitious young man, a go-getter. In comparison to my ex, you're a plus more than. But then it began. Your touch soothed me, but at the same time, bruised me. Your words threw curses at me, but at the same time, showed me you loved me. Your stare showed me you hated me. The way you wrapped your arms around me kept me so warm, but right now it's your arms wrapped around my neck tightly, and it has become a norm. And ever since, I find it hard to decide. I struggle to set the good and the bad apart from my very own eyes. So if there's one thing I need to do, I need to let go. Detach the feelings that binds us together. Wipe clean every touch you imprinted on my frame. Remind myself it's okay and charge it to the game. Rearrange, no. Aim to throw away. Every word you typed aggressively in my grey matter, deprive it from water. Time, peace, it might grow. Time, please don't let it cultivate. Don't let it penetrate through my bloodstreams, because these words, they be screaming. These words, they be teasing. These words, they scream on a daily. Don't let go. Thank you, Salient Voice.
That's what's up, Salient Voice, representing the UK. Thank you so much. And thank you to BK Poetry Slam, Brooklyn Poetry Slam. I believe we still have Jive in the building. Jive, go ahead and come on screen. And I think Mahogany had to make a quick move. If Mahogany—
He's still here, but I'm about to go.
I didn't go anywhere. I was here. I was here the whole time.
No, I just said that we're about to go and bring it back to you. So my wonderful producers, if you could bring Jive on the screen as well. And me too, yeah, as well as Mahogany. Bring us all three on. Thank you so much.
These poets were amazing, Paul D. Well done. Salient, thank you for closing out that event.
They were. We're not going to turn this into a podcast because, you know, all three of us will start hanging out. But I just want to thank you all so much. The poets you chose from your collective, just really set the bar for us. And we always like to present how much we've grown in the UAE scene and share that with others. But we also love, likewise, to have other groups come on and just show us their beautiful poetry and craftsmen and craftswomanship. So I just thank you so much for just joining us and collaborating.
Right on.
And are those real records in the background, Jive? Those are, that's not a virtual back? Okay.
All real vinyl.
All right, so thank you so much. Mahogany L. Browne has a beautiful book called Chlorine Sky, so please Google that. She's getting a lot of buzz off of that. Jive, do you have any announcements? I know the next Brick Show, Brooklyn Poetry Slam show will be in person. I know you've been doing amazing virtual shows. When is that, just in case people are in New York watching?
If you're in New York, pull up. We have this brick. It's downtown Brooklyn. It's outside. It's going to be socially distanced, safe, and check it out. Our social media will have all of the information on it. We'll put that in the chat so you can check it out. And it's free. All of our slams are free to the public. You know, come through. You know, people who generally need the art can't afford it sometimes, so we try to mitigate that by making our events free. So pull up.
Well, thank you so much.
Last Tuesday of the month, June 29th.
Yep.
Last Tuesday of the month. And thank you again to the Art Center at NYU Abu Dhabi. I'm proud to announce that we are renewing again for our 10th season with the Art Center at NYU Abu Dhabi as our partner, with official support of the U.S. mission to the UAE. We'll give you more news on which capacity we'll be in. We believe it'll be a mixture of virtual and in-person eventually next season. So just bear with us as we try to adhere to all safety protocols. But please check out NYU AD Art Center on Facebook, and you can hear all updates on their new amazing season coming out. But I think all of you are waiting to hear who is the winner. So let's take it back to the competition. Thank you to all the performers. In fourth place, we have Bluz with a 26.0 in the second round. Thank you so much, Bluz. Dope poetry as always. He was my coach on the 2007 National Poetry Slam team at Slam Charlotte. We were the national champions. Amazing poet, coach, and move maker in Charlotte, North Carolina, and all over the world. So thank you. In third place, we have Mista Fun representing Decatur, Georgia. He had a 28.3, yeah, that's correct, 3 in the second round. Thank you, Mista Fun. Danabelle, her first year ever slamming. She's more so a page poet and reciter of her work, but she stepped up to the plate and had an impressive second place finish with a 20.8.3 in the second round. And the winner, she was a part of the Mind Over Matter duo slam that we had with Rooftop Rhythms, which qualified her. And she just came out of nowhere tonight representing London. Rakaya is the winner with a second round score of a 29.1. Congratulations, Rakaya. You're our first ever international winner of our Grand Slam finale. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us. May Allah continue to bless you. We stand in solidarity with all suffering people around the world and hope to see you very soon. Have a great night. God bless.